In a quiet Tennessee town, a chilling discovery shook a community to its core, for lives brutally ended, and a baby left alone, silent witness to a nightmare no one could forget. What dark secrets lie behind this unspeakable crime? And who could commit such a merciless act? Morning light spilled over the quiet streets of Tiptonville, Tennessee, a small town where everyone knows each other's names, where crime is more rumor than reality. But on this summer day, that peace was about to shatter. In the nearby rural community of Tigrit, about 40 miles away, a homeowner stepped outside to find something that would haunt them forever. Sitting on their front lawn, a car seat. Inside, a 7-month-old baby girl. She was dressed in a small, pink onesie, her hair matted from the heat, her cheeks flushed. She wasn't crying, just staring up with wide, innocent eyes, completely unaware of the nightmare that had just ripped through her family. At first glance, it seemed like an abandoned child case, the kind of tragedy no one wants to imagine. But within hours, the truth would prove far darker. 40 miles away, in a dense patch of woods off Carrington Road, investigators were responding to another scene, one that would turn confusion into horror. For lifeless bodies lay scattered on the forest floor. Each had been shot, not randomly, but with precision. Law enforcement quickly called it a targeted execution. The victims were soon identified. 21-year-old James Matthew Wilson, a young father with a quiet smile and dreams for his family. 20-year-old Adriana Williams, the baby's mother, remembered by friends as the sweetest mom anyone could meet. 38-year-old Courtney Rose, Adriana's mother and the baby's grandmother, a woman described as the glue that held her family together. 15-year-old Braden Williams, Adriana's younger brother, a teenager full of energy and ambition, his whole future ahead of him. For generations linked by blood, wiped out in a single act of calculated violence. News of the murders spread through Tiptonville and Tigrit like wildfire. Neighbors gathered in disbelief, vigils were planned, and social media flooded with tributes. But even as grief set in, one terrifying question hung in the air. The murders sent shockwaves through the tight-knit community, shattering the sense of safety residents had always taken for granted. Candlelight vigils sprang up almost overnight. A GoFundMe page, started by friends of the family, quickly raised thousands of dollars to cover funeral costs, a small act of kindness in the face of unbearable loss. Tributes poured in. Those who knew Adriana described her as the sweetest mom, a young woman who seemed to live for her baby girl. Braden, just 15, was remembered as a boy with boundless potential, a kid with a bright future, as one neighbor put it. But while the town grieved together, detectives were quietly piecing together a far darker picture. Behind the hugs and candlelight, they were asking the questions that no one wanted to hear. Who could carry out such a calculated, merciless act, and what possible reason could they have? The answer, when it came, was as swift as it was chilling. Investigators zeroed in on a single name. Austin Drummond, 28 years old, a convicted felon whose past read like a violent resume. His descent into crime began young. At just 16, Drummond stormed into a gas station, robbed it at gunpoint, and forced an innocent driver into his car, kidnapping him in a desperate, reckless escape. Prison didn't change him. While serving time, he brutally attacked another inmate, an assault so vicious it earned him an attempted murder charge behind bars. For 13 years, Drummond's life was defined by cell walls and razor wire. Then, in September 2024, the doors opened, and he walked free. Less than a year later, he was already facing fresh charges, out on a $30,000 bond when the Tiptonville killings happened. And Drummond wasn't some anonymous predator lurking in the shadows. His link to the victims was disturbingly personal. He was in a relationship with Caitlin Speed, the sister of Courtney Rose, the murdered grandmother. Their story began behind prison walls, inside the Northwest Correctional Complex, where Caitlin Speed worked as a corrections officer. At first, she was just another staff member assigned to the cell block. But somewhere between casual conversations and stolen glances, the professional barrier crumbled. Soon, Caitlin was smuggling in small comforts for Drummond, snacks, a hidden cell phone, and, investigators believe, possibly more. Each act crossed another line. And each line she crossed took something from her career, her good name, and the trust of her own family. When Drummond finally walked out of prison in September 2024, Caitlin was waiting. She moved in with him, bringing along her 4-year-old daughter from a previous relationship. Not long after, she introduced Drummond to her family, Courtney Rose, Adriana Williams, and teenage Braden Williams. To them, he appeared reformed, a man who had left his violent past behind. Friends even said he was amazing with kids, the kind of person who knelt down to their level and made them laugh. But under the surface, cracks were beginning to form. Quiet tensions, unspoken grievances, and the uneasy feeling that something was about to break. Local media reported a chilling detail: Caitlin may have been 4 months pregnant with Drummond's child when the murders occurred. Police have never confirmed it, but the rumor spread fast. There were also whispers the relationship had already fractured. Social media posts hinted at a breakup. Months earlier, Caitlin's own brother-in-law publicly labeled Drummond a low life. Meanwhile, Drummond's time in prison had been anything but typical. From behind bars, he flaunted contraband, posing with liquor bottles, gaming on a Nintendo Switch, even streaming television shows. All privileges far beyond what most inmates could ever access. Prosecutors described him as a documented member of the Vice Lord's gang. His prison record: 25 disciplinary violations, including weapons possession. So what really sparked the bloodshed? A breakup turned violent? Family tensions that spiraled out of control? Gang retribution? Or something else entirely? By July 31st, the Tennessee Bureau of Investigation had zeroed in on a name: Austin Drummond. He now faced a mountain of charges, 4 counts of first-degree murder, aggravated kidnapping, and multiple firearms offenses. With a $37,000 reward on the table, the manhunt intensified. Surveillance cameras captured him dressed in camouflage, rifle in hand. Days later, his Audi A3 turned up abandoned in Jackson, 70 miles from the crime scene. Investigators soon closed in on his circle. 3 associates were taken into custody, accused of helping him evade capture. One was even charged with destroying critical evidence. For 6 tense days, Austin Drummond managed to stay one step ahead of the authorities. Then, on August 5th, everything changed. Ricardo Contreras, a local painter working near Pipkin Road, noticed something unusual. One of his crew members spotted movement in the trees. At first, they thought it was just a deer. But Ricardo's instincts told him otherwise. He paused, then made the call to 911. Within minutes, police flooded the area, bringing the intense manhunt to a dramatic end. Even with Austin Drummond behind bars, one haunting question remains: why? Why did he kill 4 people, yet leave a baby girl alive? Was it an act of mercy? Or a terrifying warning aimed at Caitlin? Was this crime driven by love, betrayal, and the desire for control, or was it rooted in gang loyalty and vengeance? The full truth may never come to light. But what is clear is the devastating impact on an innocent life: a baby girl left to grow up without her parents, grandmother, and uncle, all lost because of one man's violent choices. Justice is sought for James, Adriana, Courtney, and Braden. Their memories demand answers, and their legacy calls for closure.